Right, so let's go. We're on the home stretch of these videos. If you're watching them in order, I think we're on, what is it, 17, maybe the 18th and 19th one, something like that, out of the original 20 that I was going to do for this little series. So, okay, we're going to be talking about decision models and and how you create decision models. What is a decision model? First of all, that is a great question. I don't think you'd be here if you knew what one was. So I'm going to guide you through your decision model introduction, career choices, down your path to creating really good decision models for your business and the rest. So, excuse me. So, no matter what your business is, right, you're going to have to make decisions at some point during the working day. You're going to make a decision at some point, right? When you're doing business related things, you're going to make decisions. So, Oracle went and smacked this type of model together for Oracle Integration Cloud that allows you to define some data points as an input and then make some sort of logic to support that. Logic sort of being like if then else statement. So for example, you might have an input of yes for the is it raining column, and then your logic would be if it is raining is yes, then bring a coat. There you go, you just made a decision using logic, and it's the same sort of thing you might find in a flow chart. Familiar with a flow chart, you know, diamonds, if then, yes, no, else, all the rest of that. So we're going to go through the process of making a decision model here, and bear with me. So I've got to get all these steps right in one take. So we're soldier on through this. I'm going to get it done straight away. So from your main Oracle integration page, you're going to go to processes and decision models. Are going to bring up this page here. We have no decision models at the moment, so we're going to go up here and create a new decision model. We're just going to call this one the weather decision model for now, and as part of the course in this series, we're not going to put a description here. You can put a description. I recommend you put descriptions when you're actually doing anything for realsies as best practice, but I'm just not going to because I am lazy. So you come up with this screen to start with, and then you can mess around with your own decisions here. I'm going to switch to list mode for this demonstration because it comes up with this nice set of tutorials, rather the steps that you need to create a decision model, and you can even learn about each step in particular. So Oracle are actually pretty good with their tutorials on this part of Oracle Integration Cloud, so I'd encourage you to look at these for yourself if you do have access to an instance where you can actually follow along with this yourself. But I'll still go through and talk with you the example just because you've come this far, and you know, you deserve a treat. So as you can see, there are 5 main steps in designing a decision model like this. The first one is going to be adding our decisions. So we'll go up here and add a decision table to get started, which is the blue plus button in the beginning. So we are going to make a decision table, and we're going to call it what to bring. You see, I've already done this before, spoilers. What to bring is our decision table. Again, you can have a description here if you like. This is the result decision, so this is effectively the outcome table of the decision that you're trying to make. And we're going to click create, and you see it's gone and made our decision table for us there. And the next thing we want to do is add the supporting decisions that feed our data into the result decision. So we're going to start off with an if then else, and then we're going to call this one temperature. Okay, and this is just going to be how hot it is outside, and then we are going to do the same with, I think we're going to do another if then else we might have to change it to expression. But we're going to do this one for no, I think it is expression. Yeah, so we're going to do expression, and then this one's going to be rain. You could use it this, then you've got a bunch of different options here, loops, relations. But for your basic one, we're just going to stick with this for now. So this is now a list of our decisions with the idea that what we're going to bring decision over up at the top here is being based on the data provided by the temperature and the rain decisions. So now we actually move on to step 2 from our original 5 steps, which is defining the inputs for the decision themselves, right? Which is a slightly different step, but you know, just go with it for a second, okay? So you see we've got these 2 bars here. We've got services on the left, input data on the right. We're going to get to services in step 4 or 5, I think. We're going to open input data to start with, and then we're going to add a new type definition down here. So we're going to call this, let's see, we're going to type in forecast type as our new definition. We're going to have this as a complex type because there's going to be 2 attributes here. It is not a list. That will break things if we click that, and I'll explain why that is in a moment. But we're going to add some new type attributes to this, okay? So we're going to add the first one, and we're going to call it temp. We can't have it as temperature, because if we try and do that, it will conflict with this if-then statement here. That didn't used to be like that, but now it is. So we're just going to call it temp. And you can also set some conditions on these values, so you can have it the case that you know, you can only have multiples of 5 in your temperatures, for example. But we're just going to say value, so it'll be any general value that you like, and we're going to click on number. Oh yeah, there it is. So you pick number for temperature, of course, and then you can have the boundaries, so temperatures between 0 and 100, or less than 5,000, or whatever your value, your ideas are going to be. So we finish that, we close, and now that attribute has been added to our forecast type. So the forecast is going to be made up of the temperature and the likelihood of rain, right? That's going to be the forecast, and with those 2 data points is then going to affect our decision ultimately on what to bring. What to bring is going to be what kind of coat or rain stopping utensil that we're going to bring. So we're going to add in the rain section, which we're just going to call what we're going to call it, precipitation. Precipitation. I think that's how you spell that. Doesn't matter too much because you know, spelling is fine. So we're going to finish off with that one, and now we've got our 2 data attributes there now, right? So we're going to close that, and we've just created our data type definition. So that is okay. We now have our 2 definitions. So now we're going to add our input data up here, right? So we're going to bring up this input data section, and we're going to type in forecast for the name, and we'll select the other type and then forecast type. So that's now selected. Data that's going to be input is going to be of the type forecast type, which we've just declared down here, the one that we've just made. Yeah. So we'll close that, and we've just created the input data type, which is great. So that was step 2. And now we're going to move on to step 3, which is creating the logic that's actually going to interact with the data points and ultimately our decision table, right? So let's start with the rain over here. So what we'll do is we'll say if the temperature is greater than oh no, yeah, wait a second. Yeah, so we'll start with rain. Let's say if the chances of precipitation is greater than 75%, then we're going to want to bring some kind of raincoat. right? So we're going to type in an expression here that says forecast dot precipitation. Hoping I spelled that right. Is greater than 75, and if I've done that correctly, it should go through and the errors have gone away. So if the chances of it raining are greater than 75%, then we can assume that it's raining, and that's going to affect our decision later. Okay, so next we're going to go into temperature, and then we have our if then else statements. Right, let me just check to see if I've got the spelling of precipitation correct. That doesn't look right. Precipitation. Oh, no, it looks right. Usually it comes up with like little gold letters though. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to type it out again. Otherwise there'll be egg on my face later if it comes out incorrectly. There you go. Forecast of precipitation. That's supposed to do it automatically. So we'll get rid of that bit before, and that should be the correct statement if it wasn't already. So that's that. Temperature. Okay, so let's say then if forecast.temperature temp is greater than, say, 20, because we're doing 20 degrees when we're working in Celsius here because it makes sense, and Fahrenheit is stupid and makes no sense at all. Anyway, enough bad mouthing the Yanks. So if it's greater than 20 degrees, we're going to say that it is going to be warm, and if it is less than 20 degrees, anything else, it is going to be cold. Yeah, fantastic stuff. So all that's gone through correctly. We've got no error statements here, and I really hope that this works first time. I'm going to be amazed if I've gotten this all correct. So now we're going to open up the original decision table, and we've obviously got a couple of errors here for now, but we're going to edit this. So let's start by talking about the ideas. So we'll enter temperature here into the first column. Temperature, yeah, there we go. And then we are going to add in another column, because this is the output one. This is the output column in yellow, and then this is our input columns in grey. And I think we'll do this one, yep, add a column after, and then this is going to be our rain variable, yeah, that we've just declared down here. And you see that it's sort of automatically put in these values, yeah, so it's defaults to auto, and you see that it's put in the values that it could be cold, warm, true, false, yeah. So we already know that we're off to a cracking start, because that's done that for us. So the idea is that we use a decision table when we have multiple conditions that interact with each other to determine the different outcomes. So each of these white rows here that we're going to have underneath is going to be considered one rule, as in like one path of the logic to follow, if you like. And then the yellow column at the end here, like I said, is where the output is going, essentially what the decision has ultimately been decided to be. So for the what to bring section, we're going to bring down the allowed value. So clicking, it should be this one. Maybe it's that one. Yeah. So we're going to enter the text. Nope, it's not that one. Is it advanced? Nope. Is it other type? Is it forecast type? No, it's not that. Okay, we're bearing with us on this one. What does it say? So we'll open this up. Select text. It is text. Yeah, we've done that. I thought it was that. And select list of values. Ah, there you go. List of values. Fantastic. See, okay, we're trooping through this. You know, there's a lot of steps to this, so you remember it a bit more as you practice. I promise. I'm a certified. I promise that I know what I'm doing. You might see. No, I don't know what I'm doing. What I'm going to tell you what I'm doing anyway. So, list of values of what to bring. First of all, if we have it to be warm or raining, we're going to want just an umbrella, right? So like that, that's the first value. If it's going to be warm and not raining, then we don't need to bring anything extra. We're just going to say that that's a nothing value there. If it's cold and it's raining, yeah, we're going to take a raincoat with us, like so. And then if it's cold but not raining, then we just take a standard overcoat. So these are the outcomes, these are the outputs that we're going to eventually have in here. So now what we're doing is fulfilling the possibilities that go through with this. So as we said, we've got warm first, and then we find the text boxes here. We'll do warm, we'll do true, and then we said that that one was going to be umbrella. So we're combating this, but I think if I close that, that might do it. And then we are going to add in a couple of columns. We'll do 4 columns because there will be 4 decisions to make. So we've got warm and not raining, and we said that that was going to be nothing. So we've filled in that expression already. Yeah. Then if it's cold, no, that one, cold. Yeah. And if it is raining, why is that gone again? Cold? No. Type it. There you go. And then false on that side. It is a mither to battle with all of these errors that keep coming up, but you know, stick with it, it'll be fine. So if it's cold and raining, we want a raincoat, and if it's cold and not raining, we're just going to take an overcoat. So this is now our completed logic here, and that's it. The table is complete. So that was step 3, creating the table. So now, I believe, if there's no errors, yeah, that's correct, we can now begin to go on to step 4, which is to test the table that we've just made. And we test the model by pressing the little play button up here in the top right, and we'll this is why I said don't put it as a list in that little checkbox earlier, because if you put it as a list, then these values wouldn't show in the correct way. Now it looks like a list, but I promise you it's different if you press the list button. I've been caught out with that before. I've done this video like 3 times already. I don't want to do it again because it's still all in one take. So let's do some values. So let's say the temperature is hot, let's say 30 degrees, and the chance of rain is low, say 10%. We should expect the answer to come out as nothing, right? Because it's hot and no rain. So the answer comes out and the result is nothing, as we would expect, right? Because the output from temperature is warm and the rain is false. If we go back and we instead decide to type in values of 0 and 0, which means it's going to be cold but not raining, we should expect to see an overcoat, and yes we do. Thank God for that. Great stuff. And now the final step is to save and publish it as a new RESTful service. So we go over to the services bar that we're talking about on the left here, and we want to add a new service. We're going to, what should we call it? We will call it Test Weather Service, like that. Perfect, let's go. And we've got the decision and the input data here, and all you have to do is simply type in what it says over there. A little bit at the top right says input data is forecast, and then the output decision is what to bring. There you go, it's easy as that. From there you can go ahead and save, and then you activate your spanking new service, again with descriptions. We don't really take descriptions here, and then you can activate it with the activate button right there, and it's ready to be used in your business processes, and you're on your way. Thanks for listening.